Now, from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather tonight. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go now, heading right on into our Thursday evening. And after a milder afternoon, again, hopefully you enjoyed the weather today, we've got another Arctic front. In fact, the cold front is moving through right now, but the cold air, it's still lagging by about 6 to 10 hours to the north, but it will be arriving as we go through the overnight. And I tell you, out the door tomorrow morning and really through most of the weekend, we are going to be back to full-blown winter here in North Texas. We're going to talk about that, and then the opportunity of rain as we get into next week. Multiple rounds of rain next week. Again, details on that momentarily. But this would be your Thursday evening. And again, Thursday evening, really not looking overly cold, from the 50s down into the 40s. You can see that northerly wind, a little brisk, a bit of an edge on the temperatures. But again, overall this evening, definitely enjoy it. But these were your daytime highs, and this is what I was talking about earlier. We made a run towards 60 at DFW. Again, you can see kind of the southern sides of the Metroplex, maybe like the Burleson area back over through Lancaster, pushing into the lower to mid-60s. And that was the case even around the rest of North Texas, some 50s, some 60s. And again, a few locations like Hamilton down in our southwest there, almost approaching 70. Again, just a little bit earlier this afternoon. Again, even for them, it's going to be a complete whipsaw forecast, completely different. Again, out the door tomorrow morning. And again, it is because of this right here. It's this blue line. And even though the cold front is actually moving through and now essentially south of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, you may be thinking again, wow, it's really about to chill down any time. But again, simply put, that's not the case. Again, like I mentioned, the chillier air is still off to the north. In fact, as we look at temperatures, you can kind of see the secondary boundary well off to the north. But again, this air mass that's going to come flooding to the south as we go through the evening, as we go through the overnight. That is another round of Arctic air. Not as cold as earlier this week, but again, it will be arriving as we go through the overnight. So the overall setup here, you can see this next storm trough coming in. The reason why, again, that next round of chilly air is coming on in. It's also going to be fairly windy out the door tomorrow as well. That's the other thing you're really going to notice. That northerly wind is going to crank. And so we have a chilly weekend on the way, no two ways about that. But then you see this ridging pattern. If you're maybe looking for some good news out to the west, that's eventually going to be building in as we get into next week. That means milder temperatures. But again, we'll also have several impulses embedded within that. And because of that, we will have the opportunity of rain almost each and every day as we get into next week. So no opportunity of rain with the front, again, this evening, tonight, or really through most of the weekend. I'm going to take you all the way through Sunday. And again, you can see by Sunday, not so much that it rains throughout the day, but again, very late Sunday evening, Sunday night, maybe very early Monday morning. We're going to watch this right here because temperatures are going to be semi-close to freezing around the area. And it's not impossible, especially up along the Red River Valley, maybe down towards Highway 380, that we have a little bit of freezing rain. But the caveat to that is even if we do have a little bit of freezing rain, the temperature is then going to get above freezing as we go through Monday, and there's going to be more rain that's basically going to wash the ice away. So there's going to be a very narrow window, maybe 4 to 6 hours, where we may have a little bit of a concern with some freezing rain. But again, after that, as we go through next week, temperatures will be warm, will be above freezing. And again, simply put, we're just talking about a good old-fashioned rain. As I roll this back into motion here, you can see, like I mentioned, it's not just one wave, but it's several rounds. There's Monday, here we go into Tuesday, even into Wednesday, scattered activity, and possibly another disturbance even for the following Thursday. Could remain unsettled even into the following weekend, and that's still looking a long ways out. But the bottom line is we've got some rain on the way. And again, rainfall totals are looking pretty healthy, again, especially from North Texas off to the east. But again, in North Texas, anywhere around the area, 1 to 2 to maybe even 3 inches of rain, again, on the way. Otherwise, this evening, like I mentioned, we're quiet. No opportunity of any precipitation around the area. But these are your out-the-door temperatures tomorrow morning. And again, the 20s will be back. It's going to be downright cold. Notice your wind chill factors here. We'll be back down around 10, maybe even a wind chill factor of 9 out the door tomorrow morning, again, because of that stiff northerly wind. So do keep that in mind. You'll definitely want to bundle up. And then temperatures tomorrow, we do get slightly above freezing, but we're generally talking about 30s, more teens, more 20s. That would be Friday night into Saturday. And here we go heading into the weekend, more 30s again in time for the weekend. So again, we've got a chilly weekend on the way, but then like I mentioned, we've got some generous rain chances on the way. More on that coming up.